everyone. It is truly a privilege to welcome our dear friends, Governor Shapiro and Secretary Siger. We are proud to say in Phoenixville, Main Streets truly matter. Yes. On behalf of the Borough of Phoenixville, our elected officials, borough staff, our incredible business owners, our nonprofit leaders, our school officials, and our community members, I am honored to have you all here with us today to celebrate what makes our vibrant community so very special. Before we continue, I just want to take a moment to recognize some of our elected officials and some of our community leaders who are joining us here today. As I recognize you, please wave so you can be acknowledged. Our State Representative, Paul Friel. And also we have received greetings from our State Senator Katie Muth's office, as well as our Congresswoman Chrissy Houlihan and Marian Moskowitz and Josh Maxwell and Eric Rowe, our county commissioners. Unfortunately, they were not able to join us. We are very fortunate also to have with us Pennsylvania Secretary Rick Siger. Our Phoenixville Area School Board President, Scott Overland. There he is. Our Borough Council President, John Ewald. Our Borough Council Vice President, Beth Berkeley. And Council members Brian Weiss and Brian Moore. I also want to acknowledge some of our appointed officials. We have with us our Borough Manager, Mr. Gene Crack, and the Phoenixville Area School District Superintendent, Missy McTurnan. Your collaboration and commitment to our communities help sustain and enhance the quality of life for everyone. Thank you to all of you for being here today, for your dedication to ensuring that our region remains vibrant and welcoming for all. Main streets are so much more than economic drivers. They are the heart and soul of our communities. They are where we come together as neighbors, where we get to finally see one another, share stories, and build relationships that make us stronger. Main streets remind us of our shared humanity, where we find common ground, we celebrate diversity, and we create the beautiful connections that unite us all. Here in Phoenixville, we know firsthand how investments in main streets and small businesses can transform a community. Thanks to the public-private partnerships and the support of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Phoenixville has become a destination, a place where residents and visitors alike experience the unique blend of history, innovation, and belonging. Whether it's the bustle of our weekend farmers market, the warmth of our holiday lights, or the joy of sharing a meal with friends at a local restaurant, our Main Street brings people together in ways that are both meaningful and essential. Governor Shapiro's leadership has ensured that communities like ours have the resources and the tools that we need to thrive. Programs like Main Street Matters are investments not only in buildings and businesses, but most importantly, in people and the future of our neighborhood and community. These initiatives remind us that strong communities are built when we work together, when local, county, and state leaders join forces with businesses, nonprofits, and residents to create spaces where every single person is safe, loved, and most of all, celebrated. Today, we celebrate the power of partnerships and the potential that Main Streets have to unite us. It is through programs like Main Street Matters and the contributions of leaders and visionaries within our community that we ensure our main streets remain the vibrant heart of Pennsylvania. Thank you.
love you.
I love you. I like this. It's that season. It's the joy.
It's great.
And you're in
It's great.
Phoenixville. How could you? I mean, how could you not
wonderful.
love it? It's just love. And with that, I am so honored to welcome our host, who really exemplifies the spirit of Main Street and leadership right here in the borough of Phoenixville, and that is Zach Hoffman, the owner of Bistro on Bridge. He is a shining example of what happens when vision, hard work, and community support come together. Thank you so much, Zach. Thank you.
Hey everyone, my name's Zach Hoffman. I am the owner of Bistro on Bridge. We started this journey back in, my brother and I, in 2009. We'd owned a small restaurant in the Reading area, but we always desired something bigger, something larger. Always wanted a place where we could have a first-story restaurant, second floor, whether a nightclub or a nightly entertainment spot. We had looked for years and didn't have much success. And finally, one day, we learned about a location in Phoenixville, which I didn't know much about. I was living in Baltimore at the time and going back and forth to the restaurant. At that time, we didn't know much about the area, but we took a journey down here. And as we drove into Phoenixville, we immediately fell in love with Bridge Street. Now, it looks nothing like it does today. There were vacated homes and storefronts and a handful of restaurants, a few boutique stores, but we saw the potential and we saw the charm that was just waiting to be discovered. From that point, we did our due diligence. You know, you can't just go off of emotion alone when you get into an investment or into a business. And realized, you know, with the Schuylkill River Trail and the theater, there was a great music spot across from our location. Chester County is the second healthiest county at that time. Montgomery was the fifth healthiest county, and all those things really made us want to be a part of what this town could become. So we opened in June 2009. In 2011, we were fortunate to purchase the building and the liquor license. In 2018, we invested, as the town continued to grow, we invested over $1.5 million into this building and completely renovated, gutted, ripped this roof off, which today may have been a bad idea. But we saw the commitment that the town was putting into this Main Street, and really wanted to continue our part and to continue to be a part of it. Today, we employ over 125 people in the community, 40 which are full-time employees. And we're fortunate to be able to donate over $25,000 a year to local charities and to community organizations, whether it's the Police Athletic League or the Chamber of Commerce, just to name a couple. So now that we're in our 16th year of business and going strong, there's a lot of reasons why that happened. It's not because of a good burger or a good beer. It's so much more than that. One is our staff shows up every day. This is a tough business. Everyone knows the restaurant business is not easy, and they come in and they put a smile on, and they do their job every day, and they do it to the best of their ability. And if it wasn't for them, we would not be here 16 years later. When the borough always wants the town to succeed. The leadership at the borough. When there's a problem, people always ask me, if I can name one thing or a couple things, and one is just that the people at the borough, the people that work at the borough, they always try to find solutions. They want Phoenixville to grow. They are not interested in saying no to things. They say, hey, how can we find a solution? And that to me is one of the most important things of how we can continue, why Phoenixville has become kind of what it is. The Chamber of Commerce and Jess, they're focused on driving tourism into town. They're focused on driving events into town, and how can we bring people into the community. The community leaders, Mr. Paul Friel, and his efforts to drive tourism and drive business, and always looking to see how he can work with our Main Street. Our mayor, who's always, or there he is. Our mayor is always active in the community and volunteering and engaging, and it's really amazing thing. But most importantly are the business owners who took a huge leap of faith. A couple of people in the crowd have a distillery, have a brewery, and they, at the infant stages, and they most likely financed their financial future. Lewis as well. I know my brother and I extended ourselves to the point where we didn't know if this failed, how would we make it through? And that type of spirit, I feel like, is what drives a community, drives, the Main Street, is people give up maybe their posher corporate careers. I had one, and this was my passion, this was my drive, and people always ask me, am I happy with what I do? And I said, I work twice the hours and had, at the time, half the pay, but I was twice as happy. And trying to, just that it satisfied something within me. And if it wasn't for the other leaders in this town and other business owners, Main Street Bridge Street wouldn't be what it is today. So the topic of why does Main Street matter should be, why does it matter? It matters because the Main Street affects so many businesses and drives so many people into town. Downtown Phoenixville has grown and developed into a major tourism attraction in the greater Philadelphia area. 15 years ago, there would be tumbleweeds going down the road. What we would do in revenue during the week, we now do in a lunch. It really is amazing just to see, how the town's really grown. So countless people have been moved, and countless people have moved to Phoenixville to call it home, that want to be, around the art scene, the music scene, the restaurant scene, the retail that is in town here. And if it wasn't for these independent entrepreneurial business owners, small business owners that have given up everything, family vacations, and given up holidays with friends and family to open up their business, to run their business, none of this would be possible, and Phoenixville would not have grown into what it is today. So we appreciate everyone's support, and pass it to Governor Shapiro.
Thank you. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Good afternoon. Zach, thank you, and congrats on all your success. It is a great place you have here, and I could tell by that group over there that was very enthusiastic when I walked up the steps just how much fun that this place is. And I love Phoenixville. It's great to be back here. I stopped by the Bridge Cafe earlier and saw some amazing people with so many different wonderful skills who made a delicious cup of tea and get some good goodies to eat that I'll munch on afterwards. And I also learned at my next stop just how bad my wardrobe is. So I've got to come back and upgrade my wardrobe with Representative Friel, who I know you do your shopping down the road there. So I look forward to coming back and doing that. And every time I'm here, I'm greeted with quite literally the open arms of your amazing mayor. I want to say thank you to Mayor Pete for his incredible leadership. You heard from Zach about what this community used to look like and what it is today, and this transformation that I've been blessed to witness over the years has happened because there have been amazing people like Mayor Pete, our professional staff, our elected leaders in this community, Representative Friel and others who have willed this into existence, who have bet on Phoenixville, and most importantly, bet on our main streets. I love main streets, and we are investing in them here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I'm thrilled today to be joined by the leader of that effort in my administration, Secretary Rick Siger, who you'll hear from at the conclusion of my remarks. I feel blessed to serve as the 48th governor of the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And so I get to travel all over this big, vast, wonderful place that we call home. We're blessed with rural and urban and suburban communities. And I must say the terrain looks really different. But every community has one thing in common. It's got a main street. Now, not all main streets look like Phoenixville. They all aspire to look like Phoenixville. But you go in one of our wonderful rural communities, And they got single-story buildings lining a main street. You go downtown in Philly or in Pittsburgh, those single-story buildings give way to high-rises, but it's still got that same Main Street feel. And the vibrancy of a Main Street tells you a lot about what that community is going to be like. I think a Main Street is really the heartbeat of a community. And so when you look at Phoenixville, that says a whole lot about Chester County and neighboring Montgomery County and the health of these communities. We believe in Main Streets in Pennsylvania. It's one of the reasons why we have invested an unprecedented amount of money, and in this last budget, an addition of $20 million just to help support our Main Streets. And by the way, that passed by one vote because of one vote in the House of Representatives. I credit Representative Friel for helping get that bill to my desk to fund our Main Streets. Thank you, Rep, for your leadership on that. We want to invest in Main Streets so business owners have the capital they need. Maybe they've got to fix up their store. Or mayors or town managers have the ability to repair some sidewalks, deal with stormwater, traffic signalization, you name it. We're here to make sure our Main Streets have the resources that they need. We also know that these are wonderful gathering places for the folks who are neighbors, who want to come and get a burger or a beer, or who want to shop and upgrade their wardrobe, or whatever the case may be. We also know that for the people who work in these Main Streets, the other businesses are critically important for them. It's a place they run out to grab a gift for a friend or grab lunch with coworkers, whatever the case may be. We also understand just how critical Main Streets are for bringing people to Chester County, for bringing people to Pennsylvania. We launched a big tourism campaign called the Great American Getaway this summer. I literally piled our 4 kids and my wife on an RV and traveled all across this Commonwealth to highlight all different places. This is how much I love Pennsylvania. I slept in an RV for a week with our 4 kids as we traveled through our great Commonwealth. And by the way, it was awesome. We had a great time. But we understand the importance that Main Streets play in attracting people to our communities. So whether it's folks who work on these Main Streets, folks who live in the neighborhoods nearby, or people visiting from other states or other countries, the vibrancy of a Main Street is critically important. We're going to keep investing. Now, we can invest all we want, but if folks don't have the resources in their own pockets to do the shopping, then it's really, really tough. And we know that we've come out of a time that's been really challenging for folks. And we know that inflation has made it harder for people's dollar to be able to purchase those same goods they could before. So in addition to making the kind of investments we're making in businesses and Main Streets, we've also cut costs for families all across Pennsylvania. We have heard loud and clear the need to put more money back in people's pockets. So for the first time in 20 years, we cut taxes for our seniors by doubling the property tax rent rebate and doubling the number of seniors who qualify for it. For families who are struggling with elevated child care costs, we tripled the child care tax credit, leaving more money in people's pockets to be able to spend on Main Street here in Phoenixville. For small businesses, we've cut their taxes twice so that they're able to keep more of what they earn. And we're now allowing small businesses to write off more of their losses from the year before to offset their tax bills. Why do I tell you all this? Because we understand the importance of the vibrancy of Main Streets, but we also understand that the people walking down Main Streets have to have the dollars to spend here to ensure that these Main Streets continue to be strong. So we are dually focused on cutting people's costs and getting that done. I would note that I'm the only governor in the entire country with a divided legislature. Literally, we've got a House, Paul knows, led by Democrats, and a Senate led by Republicans. Why do I tell you that? Because for us to cut taxes, for us to invest in Main Streets, it required us to get votes from Democrats and Republicans, bipartisan ways, bringing people together. That's what I do, and quite frankly, that's what we need more of in politics. So I'm going to keep working with Republicans and Democrats alike to invest in places like Phoenixville, to make sure our main streets have what they need, that the infrastructure is looked after, and that the people who walk down these streets, the people who are going to gather here tonight for the tree lighting and hopefully get a bunch of hot chocolate from you guys, a bunch of burgers here, and shop as they come for the Christmas tree lighting. I hope that folks have more dollars in their pockets this year as a result of all the work we've done to cut their taxes. So we're going to come together on a bipartisan basis, continue to do that, to cut taxes, to invest in communities like this. And I just want you to know how proud I am of what you've accomplished here in Phoenixville. Every community's got a main street. They don't all look like Phoenixville. This community is thriving because of what you all have built together. Community leaders, our wonderful women and men in the police department who keep us safe, our great schools, terrific talented leaders like Mayor Pete, y'all working together to do great things, and we are proud to be your partners in this effort. So thanks for welcoming me back to Phoenixville. And with that, I want to introduce the Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development, Secretary Rick Siger. Rick?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Let me start by just saying I'm violating one of my core principles of this job, which is never speak right after Governor Josh Shapiro. So thanks for having me here today. I'm really thrilled to be here. This is like one of the coolest towns in southeast Pennsylvania. And I will admit, it's my first time here as a Pittsburgher. It's been a ton of fun to spend some time with your leadership, with some of the best businesses in this town. And I'm here because main streets are important for our economy. We know this because the governor's 10-year economic development plan puts a huge emphasis on increasing our competitiveness. And to do that, we know we need to bring new businesses to the Commonwealth. We've really got to double down on existing businesses. And we especially want to focus on Main Street businesses. Businesses like the one we're sitting in today, that, as the mayor I think said very well, are the heart and soul of our communities. Main Street businesses generate enormous economic value, especially at the local level. And they're important to regional economies too. Main streets across Pennsylvania fuel our entire Commonwealth. And that's why it's important, as the governor said, for the state to invest. The governor understood this in particular when he called for a major investment in the Main Street Matters program during this last budget cycle, and successfully worked with the legislature on a bipartisan basis to make it happen. It's a critical investment because in recent years, many regions of Pennsylvania have not really had the tools they need to make their main streets and downtowns vibrant communities that their residents and businesses deserve. This new program, Main Street Matters, gives us funding and resources to do more, but it also adds flexibility to make sure that our funds meet modern needs of businesses and communities all across Pennsylvania. Our goal for the program and the result of these investments is a higher quality of life for our citizens, growing businesses and thriving communities. And after all, that's really our mission at the Department of Community and Economic Development, and one our team takes very seriously. I'm very proud to stand here alongside Governor Shapiro with you all today to see this incredibly vibrant Main Street, take some lessons from it to apply all across Pennsylvania, and to talk a little bit about how the Main Street Matters program can make Pennsylvania an even better place to live, work, innovate, and play. So thank you so much. And with that, I'd like to introduce a great partner on this work, Representative Paul Friel. Rep, please.
Thank you very much. And I want to first thank Governor Shapiro for coming and visiting our community. I mean, we're all very proud of Phoenixville, and why not? It's such a great success story. But it's really just an example, and one example of what can happen when policymakers and businesses work together. And I think Pennsylvania's economic strengths are undeniable, and we see it here manifested in what can happen in Phoenixville. From our geographic location in the Northeast to our natural resources, a talented workforce, we have a foundation to thrive. And this past year, Pennsylvania has made a lot of positive steps towards improving the business climate and further realizing the enormous potential of the Pennsylvania economy. And I'm proud to stand with Governor Shapiro. Today, we build upon the progress we made in the past year, and a lot of that is with Governor Shapiro's leadership. We built the SITES program, investing in Main Street Matters, Modernizing government with permit reform, which is a big cost to businesses. That is all in large part due to leadership of Governor Shapiro and his ability to work in a bipartisan manner and get things across the finish line. You know, I'm especially proud of my 529 TAP Act, which is helping businesses provide a benefit for employees to save for college, and that passed the House unanimously and was put into law and signed by Governor Shapiro in the budget. And that's an enormous, I think, benefit both to families and also given businesses which are looking for ways to retain and attract employees. And that's the focus, and that's what I like about this. So as I stand here today, it gives me great hope as we look to the future. I'm confident our business climate is going to continue to improve. You know, we've changed the treatment of net operating losses. We've advanced a multi-pronged approach to workforce challenges, all of which and more represent the start of broader efforts to re-energize our economy. And this demonstrates what's possible when both sides of the aisle work together with a governor who's willing to get things done. And I appreciate it. I think one of the things that I like, Governor, you always say is you're a get stuff done governor, and you demonstrate it. So, and I'm going to skip to the conclusion here because we're going to get you some heaters too for out here. Yeah. And I'll just say this. You know what I like about this job and being part of the legislature for first term is you really do get to truly make an impact when you can work with partners, both on the other side of the aisle in the Senate, in the Republicans, and with a governor like Josh Shapiro. We have a committed purpose to get shared goals and get it done. And I look forward to what's going to happen this year. I think there's a lot of things we can do that are going to be extremely important and beneficial to the economy and making families successful and our businesses successful and our Main Street successful, just like in Phoenixville, all across the state. So thank you. With that, I'm going to introduce Jessica, who's from our local chamber.
Thanks, Rick. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you. As Paul alluded to, I'm between you and this really fun all-women's Axia party inside in the warmth. Wonder if they'll let us join them. And also, you know, it's not every day that a local chamber gets an opportunity like this, so I just want to recognize that. And I, as a Pennsylvania public school kid, am committing to channeling all of my senior year academic decathlon, speech, energy into today. Good afternoon to all of our friends and colleagues in the room, and also to our esteemed visitors. Main Street businesses have the most storied past in our communities, and they are more than just storefronts. They're places where the dreams and goals of real everyday people come to life, where connections are forged, and where the backbone of our economy is actually realized. Governor Shapiro and our lawmakers have made an investment of $20 million into programs like Main Street Matters, and it's a powerful statement about how important these businesses are to the state of Pennsylvania. This funding represents an opportunity to revive and reimagine the commercial corridors that define Pennsylvania's beautiful and historic towns and cities. These investments also empower entrepreneurs, providing the ability to grow through scaling and job creation. And other notable legislation, like modernizing how state permits are issued, is also reducing red tape and providing critical resources, and it shows a commitment at a state level to improving the business landscape in Pennsylvania, which allows that room for economic vitality. All of these are true investments. We know that when we fund small businesses, economic development, tourism, and more, the dollars follow. When we see tax credit expansions that give constituents more money in their pockets, it shows. These dollars then come back to us in local spending, and they also help to create a sense of place and a sense of pride. To our fellow communities across the Commonwealth, take this as inspiration. Phoenixville had a renaissance because of its people, its businesses, its leadership, and available funding. Partner with your local leaders, your chambers, and organizations to charter a new course. This funding shows what's possible when we invest in our people and our places. To our entrepreneurs, today and every day, we celebrate you. You are the risk takers and innovators who wake up and pursue passion, all while making a welcoming Main Street and creating a place to belong. Your courage of investment in yourself and others is truly inspiring. And to everyone that is here or watching at home, as a chamber, we're highly encouraging that you shop small, you shop local, you keep your dollars in your community wherever and whenever you can. It makes a radical difference, particularly in years of combined difficult economic time. And while this funding is an incredible start, we know that this work is not done. Together, through public and private partnerships, and while wearing listening ears, we can contribute to building a state where every small business has the opportunity to succeed. Let's make our main streets the heartbeat of our towns, giving a sense of place within our communities that are enjoyed now and by generations to come. Thank you.
Great stuff. Thanks, Jessica. If we have any questions from the media, we'll take it. Otherwise, we'll go inside and warm up. Mercury good? Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful holiday season and enjoy the tree lighting tonight. Thank you. Thanks,